cut in line? End up in a random neighborhood. This is part my revenge, part that of a shopping mall employee in Dubai and his colleague. This took place in Dubai. Don't go there. Don't live there. I was at a shopping mall with a taxi line so long that it stretched down the hallway. To get to the front took us almost 45 minutes. But with extremely limited public transportation, we and all the other suckers in line had no other choice. When we were close to the front, a tourist-looking couple just came and stood next to us, like they were with us, and were going to cut in front of everyone else waiting so long. I told them in English they had to go wait at the end. I could tell by their annoyed expressions that they understood, but the man tried to pretend he didn't speak English, and mumbled something in German at me. No problem, I also speak German. So I told them in German to get to the end of the line. They wouldn't go, so I got louder and more insistent. The man got more insulting, but wouldn't leave. We all got to the front, where I told the mall employee that this couple was not with us, was instead both queue jumping and harassing us. There is a social and racial hierarchy in Dubai. Seriously, don't go there. The South Asian mall taxi queue worker cannot anger a white tourist, who themselves cannot anger a Gulf Arab, etc. What he can do, which I knew, is put them on a shuttle bus. This bus was created to handle long taxi lines when the wait exceeds 1 hour. The official plan is to take people to central areas where they can get a taxi more easily. At only 45 minutes wait, it wasn't running yet, but it was there with a driver in the expectation of running soon, and the mall employee offered it to the couple, just for them. The couple didn't want to go, but I informed them that insult is a jailable crime in Dubai. I had a group of witnesses of how he insulted me, all while the mall employee was so polite, saying, "Sir, please come with me. I have a solution for you." However, that solution was not a shuttle ride to a central tourist area with taxi stands. It's a solution for the mall, not the shoppers. That driver took that couple to a non-sexy area of Deira, an older area of Dubai. Of limited interest to those tourists and probably one of the hardest places in the city to find a taxi, or their way back to their hotel. They would have figured it out eventually, but it would have taken them much longer to get to where they were going than if they had just waited in line. Someone ate the cherry pie I spent 4 hours making. I ate all the pizza rolls. So I was making a cherry lace pie. I made it all from scratch. I made the crust and made it perfect. I made all the filling. I laced the pie. It was beautiful and took me 4 hours to create it. Unfortunately, somebody got to my amazing pie when it was cooling. In that moment, I felt like I walked in on the corpse of my mutilated child. All of my pie was gone, leaving only a crumb, fork, and the tin. I was out for blood. More specifically, I was out for pizza rolls. Being home alone, nothing will stop me from purging the pizza rolls. I opened up my freezer and had about half of the contents try to assault me. Hell no. No frozen peas are gonna stop me. After my hand did a little digging, it felt a familiar shape. The pizza rolls. A pack of 50 pizza rolls. Just waiting for me to leave them in the oven, and inevitably have them burn my tongue off. They clanked against the pan as my cat was starting at the pizza rolls with hungry eyes. So I just gave her a can of wet food and she just walked away. After spreading them out like rocks, I placed them into the oven and waited. I kneeled down at the oven and stared. Then beep. Beep. The pizza rolls were done. I plopped them all on my plate and as expected, they burnt my tongue, but it was all worth it. Once my mom and little brother got home, they looked at the oven in dismay as they realized it was too late, and there was no more pizza rolls left. After being in denial about the lack of pizza rolls, their expressions turned into anger as they were not happy with me eating the pizza rolls. Once I told them why, they started telling me they didn't mean it, and they would make it up. Once that didn't happen, they sulked away from no pizza rolls. Later, they apologized to me and now they know never eat my pie again. Also on intellectual telephone, and the English language is my only language, so if there's any mistakes, I'm just a dingus. Overworked, so I handed in my notice to my actual boss. A few years ago, I got a job with a regulatory compliance company. I had agreed to a consultant salary and a company car with the person I thought was the director. I handed in my notice, only to then find out they weren't paying me the agreed salary, and the company car was a cheap runaround whereby consultants usually drive high-end cars. I was disappointed, but would have been humiliated to admit this to the company I was in at the time, so I took the job. Turns out, the person I'd agreed the terms with was the subcontracted company I would be working with. I worked directly with the subcontractor company, while being paid via the other. For the next 4 months, I was worked harder than I have ever been in my whole life. On top of this, I was being paid terribly in comparison to a person in a similar position. Due to the subcontractor company not understanding what a health and safety policy was, around 30 to 40 generic documents, I had to write an entire management system, literally what it sounds like, in a single weekend. I got around 3 hours sleep a night, but completed it by 7 p.m. on the following Monday. The company then complained that they should have had it at 4 p.m., when no deadline was given. I sustained damage to my right eye due to eye strain in this time that hasn't healed to this day. They then required me to do a professional qualification that usually takes 6 months, in 1 month, around my current workload, which they were upping in preparation for me becoming qualified. This was the final straw. I handed in my notice to the head company without any warning or discussion on the matter. I sent the subcontractor company a message stating that I'd handed in my notice with no further explanation. You can imagine the fallout. They were stuck handling several huge contracts by themselves overnight, with even more coming the following month. They had to pass on a lot of the contracts, and 6 months of work to set up an external employment scheme went down the drain. The director of the main company didn't really understand what was going on, but he let me complete my notice period doing filing, as I'd solved several long-standing issues, including getting rid of an outside consulting service that was costing them thousands annually. I got a job at 1.5 times my salary within a few weeks of quitting. I was working so hard when I went to the new employer, I cleared 6 months worth of outstanding files within 1 month, ironically, and my manager has thought highly of me since. I've had 4 internal promotions since then in the space of a few years. Petty revenge on petty landlord. I have a number of petty revenge stories about my property manager and a terrible company she works for. I live in a quiet, low-rise apartment, with mostly older people and few kids or partiers. Never had to call in a noise complaint. But these new owners installed video surveillance throughout the building and constantly sent letters about all kinds of petty things. They sent around a letter about dog etiquette, including a comment about not throwing poop bags in the lobby garbage can. They said etiquette and yet it mentioned video surveillance and lawsuits. The super stopped me and said, "We know it's you throwing poop in garbage." I said, "Where do you think it goes?" "It's in a bag. It doesn't smell. You then throw the trash in the dumpster, and every dog owner throws the poop bag in the garbage or dumpster. It's not illegal. Didn't know any rule existed. Don't you have anything better to do?" He said. "No. Next time we catch you, you are in big trouble." I said okay. And I stopped. I seldom did throw poopy sacks in the garbage since going through the lobby was not my usual route, just occasionally when I wanted to check the mail. But then I thought, F those guys. It's not illegal or any enforceable rule. Don't want to bow to this crap. So, I decided to F with them. Every single night, between 9 o'clock to 10 p.m., I would walk my dog, go through the lobby, check my mail, and throw the poop sack in the garbage. Finally, about a week later, at 10 p.m., the super and property manager cornered me in the mailroom for throwing dog poop in the garbage, when I was warned not to. I said no, I never throw dog poop in this garbage, but I am not sure why you're here. It's not illegal. They ignored me. "We saw you throw a bag of poop in garbage." Nope, I certainly did not. So they went over to the garbage and pulled out the poopy sack. "See, we saw you throw this in garbage. We have video." She pointed to the camera. I laugh and say, "Oh, I think we have a big misunderstanding here. Sure, this is a poopy sack, but there is no poop in it, I take it." Open it up, and torn up paper fell out. When I get my mail, I open it here, take a quick look, and then rip up and put it in the poopy sack for security reasons. You know, identity theft. I never threw poop in this garbage. The super turns red. The property manager starts yelling at him in their native language. They storm off. No apologies, nothing. So I wasted their time staking me out, not even sure what they could have done next if there was poop in the sack. This also invalidated all their other video surveillance.